2023, what a year this is already turning out to be. At least it's not 2022. 2023 is going to be the year of massive changes all across the board, and not just in recruiting and tech, and we're going to be talking about all that today. My name is Preston. I'm a professional recruiter in the tech industry. If you're new to this channel, thank you for stopping by. It really means a lot. I'm going to make sure that you leave today learning something completely new, hopefully. For people who've been watching for a while, welcome back. I'm sure you're going to enjoy today's video because I guarantee you, no matter what industry you're in, I've got some valuable information for you. The US Department of Labor dropped a valuable news release earlier this month all about statistics from 2022, and we're going to do a little deep dive. They have released info on just about every topic and every statistics possible. So feel free to pause, rewind, take screenshots, and rewatch. If you haven't done so already, please consider supporting a fellow recruiter. Give us a like, subscribe, click that bell. Really means a lot. So with that being said, let's jump right in and take a look at the first most prominent piece of data. Unemployment was pretty steady in 2019 at around 3.5%. This is a pretty safe, normal amount, especially when you compare it to some places like South Africa with 28.53% in the same year, or Greece with 17.3%. Now, obviously, there can be many societal factors as to why people aren't working, and it usually means that well-paying jobs just aren't available for everyone, rather the population just being lazy or unwilling to work. So for us and almost every corner of the planet, that was COVID in 2020. You can see exactly when the pandemic hit, and it definitely wasn't pretty. Going from 3.5% to almost 15% in less than 6 months is absolutely catastrophic, and it was. It was basically only until kind of recently that we saw those numbers go back to pre-pandemic levels. We can see here that it really wasn't until about summer of this year that we saw those numbers bounce back. The payroll graph also reflects this trend pretty well, although we have seen a slightly more linear rise. It is important to note, though, that this graph is for non-farm payroll, so for the significant chunk of people working in agriculture who basically feed us and keep us alive, we might need to look at another graph. Data for long-term unemployment, which is counted as unemployment longer than 27 weeks or roughly half a year, dropped by about 146,000 in December. The same month in 2021, there were 2 million long-term unemployed, double what they are now. So this is good news overall. This data doesn't take into account the massive layoffs we've been seeing at the start of this year, so please do also keep that in mind. We're definitely going to cover that particular topic in an upcoming video. It's just too important not to talk about. Moving on, we do see growth in leisure and hospitality, healthcare, construction, and social assistance, which tells us what people find important when things get tough. Think about it. Instagram is cool, but can you eat it? Can you live in it? Can it cure any diseases? Look, we all love our modern tech inventions and shiny new software, but time and time again, we're reminded that the facilities keeping us alive and healthy are called essential services for a reason. Regarding leisure and hospitality, perhaps the least essential of these, we can see that it is rising back up with an average of 79,000 jobs added per month this last year, though less than the growth of 196,000 per month in 2021. Still a far cry from its pre-pandemic levels by 932,000. Healthcare, undoubtedly the most important, saw massive gains with an average of 49,000 jobs per month added in 2022, absolutely dwarfing the 9,000 per month figure of 2021. Construction was slightly smaller, 19,000 per month versus 16,000 per month in 2022 and 2021, respectively. Makes sense because construction was definitely one industry that took advantage of the empty buildings and streets and used that time to renovate and build undisturbed. Social assistance, which includes categories like social service workers, counselors, housing specialists, and all the people who help our society and are criminally underappreciated. This category saw a healthy increase of 17,000 compared to 13,000 jobs per month in 2021. Definitely hoping that this one keeps going up and that someone gives them a raise. Retail has definitely taken a hit, dropping to 16,000 per month this year from 35,000 jobs a month in 2021. I have a strong feeling that this is because retail has more or less reached its natural limit and doesn't have room for growth. So much of the world is online now, and even major retailers like Walmart and Best Buy are seeing much larger growth on their website sales than brick and mortar operation. If your business is retail only and doesn't have an online presence, I highly recommend you to expand. Manufacturing has stayed almost completely the same with 32,000 jobs per month in 2022 versus 20,000 jobs in 2021. It's important to note, however, job gains for durable goods with an increase of 24,000 were offset by a decrease of 16,000 in non-durable goods. Durable goods are basically items that don't need to be purchased on a regular basis, like cars, home appliances, consumer electronics, furniture, sports equipment, and toys. If a lot of these are selling, it's usually a sign of a good economy. Non-durable goods, on the other hand, are generally things you can consume, use quickly, dispose of, or items that tend to last less than 3 years. Examples include cosmetics, cleaning, products, food, fuel, clothing, and footwear. These did take a hit last year, which points to signs of inflation, especially regarding food. I still can't believe eggs are now $9 a carton now. Pretty crazy. Transportation and warehousing went down from 36,000 in 2021 to 17,000 in 2022. This isn't honestly anything too crazy. The largest recovery in this sector has likely already occurred, meaning that any growth we see moving forward will probably be more linear. Professional and business services, including accounting, advertising, architecture, computer systems design, consulting, engineering, legal, and research and development services averaged 50,000 per month in 2022, a respectable number but far below the 94,000 we saw in 2021. I imagine that area is where a significant number of you viewing might be employed in, and I can understand the frustrations with all the layoffs and the slow hirings happening right now. Many of these tend to be competitive, in-demand jobs that also have a large talent pool to draw from and often pay really great, hence the competitiveness. One thing that I'm definitely moving towards on this channel is giving out more tips about nailing interviews, making those perfect resumes, and setting yourself up to succeed despite the fierce competition you'll face. Let me know down in the comments below if this is something that you guys wanted to see more of. Moving on. Wholesale, information, and financial sectors were largely unchanged, likely because those industries thrive no matter what the world threw at them. $1.7 trillion, yes, that's a trillion with a T, was created during the pandemic, most of that going to the already wealthiest, so it's no surprise that anything with finance and the top people of the tech world remained virtually untouched. The average hourly earnings rose by 4.6% over the past 12 months, while the average work week had a slight decrease of 0.1 hours to reach 34.3 hours in December. Many economists are anticipating, at the very least, a shallow recession in 2023. This is due to the Federal Reserve working to reduce inflation, which has seen some of its highest levels in recent history. 2022 did end with a GDP growth rate of 3.8%, but Fed officials are likely still going to need further progress before they start easing on the rate hikes. In plain English, last year our economy grew a bit, so our government is starting to get happy with the results. If this continues, they will reduce the interest rate, which is how much the government thinks banks should charge to lend money to each other, and hopefully prices will go down a bit. Right now, the markets are expecting the Feds to raise rates by another 0.25% on February 1st, so if you're planning on getting a mortgage, you might want to hold off. Now look, you might be thinking, okay, so this is interesting, nice info, but what does it have to do with me, or recruiting, or finding a job, or really anything really? My answer? Well, it has everything to do with it, literally everything. As recruiters, we absolutely need to stay on top of the latest news, especially when it concerns the economy and jobs. Our job is jobs, and we need to figure out where the gaps are so we can make sure they're adequately taken care of. Really, it's all right there in the data we saw. Some job fields definitely experienced growth, but many also didn't. This means that there are going to be thousands, if not millions of people who have a lot of skills, but might need to switch fields and haven't sent out a resume or gone to an interview since 2010. Our job is to make sure that these people have polished resumes and are presented in the best possible way to clients. And if you don't believe that, this is something that actually takes work. Look at it this way. Interviewing and presenting yourself as a good candidate to potential employers is a skill. The same way someone might be a brilliant coder or even a marketer. Companies and hiring managers tell us recruiters what they're looking for, and we comb through our databases, conduct searches to find the people that they need. When we see record-breaking layoffs like this at Microsoft or Twitter or Google or Amazon, we already know there's going to be a massive influx of new candidates to the pool. Our job isn't just to scoop them up and hurl them at our clients, although that might be kind of funny if we did. No, our job is to meet them where they are. It takes a fine-tooth comb through their resume, profiles, work samples, and get them ready to compete against the other 300,000 candidates competing against them. By understanding the ebbs and flows of the economy and how they affect the job market, we can really make informed decisions about how we work with our candidates and our clients. Thank you so much for watching. This just about wraps up this video. If you stayed this long and enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, really supporting a fellow recruiter, and leaving a like really does help us out a lot. If you want to see more videos, if you want to see more videos like this or any other questions that you have, please make sure you comment down below. Feel free to also follow me at Preston_Park as I try my best to also post behind the scenes content daily. Thank you so much again. Really means a lot, and we'll see you on the next one.